There is nothing wrong with your radio.
Do not attempt to adjust the volume.
We are controlling the broadcast.
For the next hour we will control all that you hear.
You are about to experience the knowledge and insights of the Media Mothership.
All right. Welcome here to Media Mothership on Edge Radio 99.3. We're broadcasting, as always, out of Nipaluna country in Hobart, Tasmania. I'm your host, Dr. Craig, joined as always by Lord Taylor. Hey, Lord Taylor.
Hello.
The Lordship.
Yep, that's
excellent, me. Excellent. And on this show, we explore how media can shape our understanding of the world around us, and increasingly we're provocateurs.
That sounds better.
We're disruptors in this experiment through our use of AI in particular. So we're continuing that deep dive. As always, we're streaming on edgeradio.org.au as well as via YouTube and Twitch. You can get to us via just searching for Media Mothership. Please feel free to message us in on our SMS line at 0488811707 or just in the YouTube or Twitch chat. And we'll do our best to recognize that human contact if possible. Today's topic, a little bit of news to start off with. 4 news stories, 4 actually. A little bit of Simpsons news, Japan news, Prime streaming news, and then some AI news to set us up for the Making Media section I'm calling Making Media with Lord Taylor and Dr. Craig, our experiments with AI chatbots. So we're going to dive further into some of the experiments we've been doing with AI chatbots to create radio drama. So I have a new radio drama today.
Fantastic.
I produced mere seconds ago, so it's nice and fresh. We'll be playing that, hopefully. We'll have time for that. And it's about Sherlock Holmes and Watson in Hobart, Tasmania. So it's a nice local story. And I just one more teaser. I gave the prompt that it needed to refer to current news stories in Hobart and Tasmania. There were three stories that I got it to generate. 2 of those would have been in breach of defamation laws, so we're not doing those 2. There was a great one on the council merger announcements, but it involved murder, so
okay.
Not doing that one. We are going to do what was it? So there was that. There was I don't know if it's a real news story, but one of the other news elements it picked up was allegedly there's a rare Tasmanian apple that is being brought back or has been lost. I couldn't tell. I tried to search for it, couldn't find it. It's classic kind of AI trolling of me, right? It's like there's a bit of fake news for you, Craig. Digest that, or the car that crashed into the police station.
Okay.
So yeah, there are 3 choices, and we'll be playing one of those, which would place us in the least legal issues.
Brilliant.
In terms of our broadcasting license. So all that and more here on Media Mothership on Edge Radio 99.3. Takes a while. Gotta find the playlist, but it's worth it, right?
Yes.
I like the bluesy vibe. I might get rid of what's called the Danzon de Passion sting, which is that first one. It's a little bit of an assault on the drums.
That one. Okay.
Yeah. Although, kind of Mario vibe. So
yeah, that's true.
Welcome back here to Media Mothership on Edge Radio 99.3 FM. I'm your host, Dr. Craig, joined by Lord Taylor.
Hello again.
Going through the introduction again. Let's jump into the news. So this was from a crack.com article talking about a long-buried Simpsons joke, which has been dug up by an intrepid audio engineer. So this article is talking about how a joke that featured in a Simpsons cartoon show was recently archaeologically dug up. I guess like you can imagine getting the little brush out and sifting through the detritus which is on top of it to reveal a joke which had been hidden. So this intrepid, what they're defining as an intrepid audio engineer, used his skills to isolate and boost Marge's voice in this bit. So the joke's from season 3, the episode The Otto Show, which I'm sure everyone remembers. One of the longest running TV shows ever. So this is the episode where Marge warns Homer and Bart about this hardcore, or I think it's just a metal band that Homer's taking Bart to, and Marge is making this warning, but it was never, you could never hear it in the original cut, because the setup is that, you know, Homer's suffering from tinnitus and says it's fine going to the, hey, like he's always listened to us, no problems. And the tinnitus meant that you never heard what Marge said. And this was made even more interesting because in the DVD commentary, Matt Goring and some of the production team referenced this and said it was a good bit that they'd given Marge to say, but they can't remember what it was anymore because they'd deliberately tapped it down so it couldn't be heard. Let's listen to it. So this is from the Twitter account Ewy Rayburn, EWZZY Rayburn, AYBURN. I've committed to spelling the name, so I thought I'd go for it. So he was the guy that used his editing skills to recover this buried piece. So I kind of thought when I found that, I thought, oh, this will be great for radio because it's an audio piece. Mm-hmm. You won't hear it, trust me. You won't hear it. But what this clip is it plays the entirety of the original piece, right? And then it plays the DVD commentary discussion of it briefly, and then it plays the audio engineer's cleaned up version of it, where you can almost hear what Marge is saying. So let's listen to this.
I hope the Spinal Taps don't play too loud.
Oh, Marge, I went to thousands of heavy metal concerts, and it never hurt me. I hear you. Come on, boy.
What Marge is saying is actually pretty funny, if I recall.
Oh, I remember it took us a long time to write it, and then we mixed it down so nobody could hear it.
Oh, Marge, I went to thousands of heavy metal concerts, and it never hurt me.
You're all right. Make sure they don't pick up any of the band's attitudes toward women.
I hear you. Come on, boy.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that clip 4 times, and I'm beginning to be able to hear it better now.
I've seen it once and I can't hear it.
Basically, the joke is, so of course Homer doesn't hear what Marge is saying because of the tinnitus and says, I hear ya, and takes the kids out. And of course what Marge says is a warning to Homer that she hopes Bart doesn't pick up the band's attitude towards women, liquor, religion, politics, and really anything. So it's kind of a funny joke. You know, I do like the idea of pop culture archaeology, right? Like with AI in particular, going back over forgotten or pieces of media text which have been lost, and now these kind of forensic fans in their kind of FBI clothing, trying to, you know, recreate a crime scene. Sorry, I'm mixing so many metaphors here. It started off Indiana Jones archaeology, now we're forensic crime scene fans. But I'm thinking, you know, because I know there are a lot of those Doctor Who episodes which were lost, and the only things that were left of them were, you know, young kids recording it on cassette tape.
Yeah.
So it was just the audio, and recently they've been re-released on Blu-ray with animated visuals matching the cassette tape audio that they've done up. So there's some interesting kind of lost media that could be brought back with some type of AI. I mean, better than those other stories you're hearing of, you know, reanimating dead movie stars by putting them in movies today through CGI, which is a little creepy.
It is a bit.
Story 2. Or maybe I should play a little sting to cleanse.
Okay.
Hold on, I just need to bring up my music playlist.
I'm cleansed.
Yeah. It's a entirely new show now. So Japan has completely run out of Pokemon cards. Bum, bum, bum. I need like a little stinger board. That sound effect comes up. So this was an article in Kotaku. Now, Taylor, you heard something about this, or you'd read the article?
No.
Did
I just I've seen your show notes and I just know because I've played the game.
Right, so you've played the card game version?
No, the real version. This particular one that it's referring to is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the most recent one that's come out.
Right. Is that the Nintendo Game Boy?
You're a bit behind the times there.
What are we
the
up
Nintendo
to?
Switch.
Oh, up to the... Okay, yes, of course. Knew that. So this is for the new Nintendo Switch system.
Yes.
But I think this is also referring... So the cards must also be somewhere linked to this as well. So the article's talking about that Japan's completely run out of Pokemon cards due to the high demand for the new expansion pack featuring a rare card of someone they're referring to as a Pokéfluencer. Pokéfluencer, which I had no idea what that word meant. It sent me into a real moment of forensic fandom. Yeah. Like, am I really behind the scenes that I don't know the Pokéfluencers around me? So before we go any further, let's define what a Pokéfluencer is. So according to my search on AI, Google and Bing, a Pokéfluencer is a person who creates content related to Pokemon games, merchandise, and other related products on social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. They're usually popular among Pokemon fans and have a large following on the social media platforms. They create content such as gameplay videos, tutorials, reviews, and unboxing videos. Some Pokéfluencers also participate in Pokemon tournaments and events. So at one level, it looks like these are real people who call themselves Pokéfluencers or are deemed to be a Pokéfluencer. And they do the Twitch and the YouTube, the unpackings, and they do tournaments and tutorials and so forth. But the article's referring to a rare card of a Pokéfluencer, which means that in a meta sense, in the game Pokemon, there are Pokéfluencers who have their cards of them. Could you unpack this for me? Do you know anything about this?
They don't have cards of them in the game, I don't think. Because the whole premise of this is Iono in the game is a sort of like a Twitch Twitch streamer, but not Twitch, but sort of just like streaming online.
Iono is like a Pokemon trainer?
She is a gym leader.
A gym leader?
Yes.
I have no idea what a gym leader is. Is that good? Are they good?
Yeah. One of the people that you have to battle in order to progress further in the game.
Right. Because they have a super rare card, which, as YouTube guy put it, is the most expensive card they've ever seen, and it's a card. The Iono card is going for $3,600 US at the moment. The initial quotes for the Clayburst and Snow Hazard card at $3,600. The Iono one, which we're talking about, is $1,255 in Japan. So it's US dollars, but whatever the yen is.
I've got a picture of the card here.
That's going to... Oh, okay. So she, you're cute Japanese anime girl.
Mm-hmm. But it's not really a good card in terms of cards, because, Pokemon cards, they have you can get ones that have lenticular, ones that have got nice little shiny bits on them and stuff like that. But that's just a normal card, which I can't read Japanese, but it's probably going to be a really normal effect as well. So it's just because she is one of the, I suppose, most popular characters within Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
That
hype.
Yeah.
So allegedly that hype engine has meant that they're not available, that they've just been all gobbled up, these cards. And it's interesting because, I guess it does show how the Pokemon card market is a super competitive space, incredibly lucrative to make some money in and lose a lot of money, I'd say, as well. And collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars for a single card. Have you seen anything in the card speculation market? It's not your bag?
Well, I've got probably 3,000 Pokemon cards myself, including a couple of rare ones, but haven't looked any.
He says nervously, looking around. Have I given away any information that might lead people to my address? No.
But haven't hadn't had a look at it in years. They used to be worth a lot.
Right. Well, yeah. So it's obviously very, very popular still, and they've struggled to meet demand in the Japanese market. So at the moment, this is all the Japanese market. I asked Bing what the implications of this would be, and it said that an interesting implication is that the popularity of Pokemon cards in Japan may influence other regions and markets, and the new expansion pack is expected to be released globally in 2023 under the name Paeda.
That's like paella.
Yeah, might be
Paldea evolved.
Okay. I should wear glasses. So we should jump on this speculation market.
Yeah, I think it will be high here as well. Because my ones, which are I've got the English Pokemon cards. One of them I've got is, I think it's worth $410 or something like that.
Yes.
In the English market.
You know, there's an interest because the latest Pokemon card scandal I remember not getting involved in but seeing was in McDonald's, where they were giving away Pokemon cards with Happy Meals, and card speculators were just buying tons of Pokemon Happy Meals to try and corner the market on these cards and not eating the Happy Meals, just getting it for the cards. What would Karl Marx say? You know, there we have a great case of use value versus exchange value. Or is it? It's one of the values. You know, use value, of course, you think you're buying you're buying the Happy Meal to eat burgers and food, yet some people are more interested in the kind of ancillary thing, which is free, in a way.
But that reminds me of like K-pop albums, because like usually when you go through like a distributor, you can buy, if you buy like 20, you get a chance of getting a specifically special card of one of the members, and so you'll get people, and they they basically buy up, 1,000 like CDs to try and get one of these special cards, and then they get it, and they can go on and sell that for 20,000 or whatever, and just dump the CDs.
Yes, yeah, well, yeah, and the danger there is, I forget the name of the theory around confirmation bias, I think it is, where on the internet you might only hear about the people who have been successful in that gambit, forgetting the fact that you're not going to hear about all the people that have squandered a small fortune trying to play the odds to get that super rare object to then. But again, most people wouldn't even, some people wouldn't even sell that, right? There'd be collectors who would just fetishize that.
True, yeah.
Unhealthy. I don't know. Wow, yeah, look, and that model, that model of creating desire just fascinates me, that, it's outstripped any moment of actual needs that are being catered for. So it is a fascinating thing. And again, we have learnt a new word today, pockefluencers. We're going to get some pockefluencers on the show. Are you a pockefluencer? Contact us now.
I mean that's the thing, because I don't think before this game came out there was pockefluencers, but now there is, because this is a thing now.
Wow. See, media shapes the reality around us. If it's in a Pokemon episode that says this word, then it will bleed into reality. I'm going to try to get Media Mothership on there. I'm going to try to pitch my script. Are they still doing the Pokemon cartoon?
Yeah.
I'm going to pitch my script for them.
Because, Ash in the Pokemon cartoon, he's leaving.
Oh, right. I do think I came across something like this.
Yeah, and everyone's all going mental over it.
We might pick that up next week. We might not. But yeah, there we go. So Pokemon cards are limited. Smooth. You might not need subtitles with Prime Video's new feature. For a while, I've been looking at the fact that a lot of people just put subtitles on when they're watching streamed videos, right? So on your streaming channels, they'll, like my kids do it. They can't watch it without subtitles on. And a lot of it's talking about how the audio mix often means that it's difficult to pick up dialogue.
Yeah.
So allegedly, Prime Video, one of the Amazon streaming channel, has a feature called Dialogue Boost, right? Where you can select, it's not on all of their media that they've got on their streaming channel, but some of them will have this thing called Dialogue Boost, where if you select it, it increases the volume of the spoken dialogue while leaving everything else the same. So this article in How to Geek speculates that this is addressing the fact that a lot more people are listening to or watching TV with subtitles. Do you use subtitles when you're...
Sometimes, I guess, if it's a foreign language film.
Obviously. I hope so.
But also, if you're watching, sorry to bring us back to it, but Korean media.
Yes.
All of their TV shows have got subtitles, no matter what it is. All of them, basically. All
Are we
of
talking
them.
about subtitle in terms of like big bold graphics that highlight a particular exclamation from like a variety show kind of level subtitle?
They've got variety show ones, and then just everything that's ever said down the bottom as well.
Really? As standard?
As standard, as default.
Wow. Yeah, because I know you can select closed caption for some television in Australia. And on YouTube as well, you can use that the smart subtitles if you want to risk it. But okay, I had not realized that. Certainly in Japanese media, I've seen on the variety shows, they treat it as an art form. I imagine Korea as well, where the text component of the visuals is possibly even better than the actual performance you see.
It's an integral part of the storytelling.
Yeah, so that is interesting in terms of that dialogue boost. Because there have been moments where I've been watching a movie and have had to put subtitles on and replay a scene because I just haven't been able to hear what a certain scene is. And the audio mix may have been designed for a cinema audience or a cinema speaker system. But yeah, my crappy home speakers are not picking that up. So yeah, certainly. But it's interesting, because my kids kind of will just shut down if it's not subtitled. It's like, well, I'm going to look at my phone then. I'm just going to use that as wrap-up music. If you're starting to blather on, I'm just going to play that song. I should give you that power.
Okay.
I think of the two of us, I'm the one that's prone to keep talking. Last story I want to go on about is AI isn't a threat. Boris Elgansen.
Brilliant.
Sorry, Boris, for mispronouncing your German surname. Whose fake photo duped the Sony judges, and he's hit back now. So this is the German artist who caused an uproar this week when he revealed the photo that won a prestigious award wasn't what it seemed. He received the award, but he said he couldn't receive. Well, actually, no, he said he couldn't receive the award because he'd actually created it with AI to make a point. All right, that AI's here, and we shouldn't be afraid. So it's a really interesting piece. So this was the Sony World Photography Award, and Boris's photo was one of the winners. And at the time, the judges didn't realize it was generated by AI. It's quite a striking piece in terms of it portrays. I think it's two generations. The caption's two generation, and it's kind of a retro style picture.
Oh yeah.
So he defended his use of AI as a creative tool and argued that it's no threat to photography. It's a new form of expression. So it's a really, he was trying to make a kind of point about it. Say that we have to embrace it. So it does raise a number of interesting questions, how AI is changing the landscape of photography and art, given that photography was the disruptive technology for art back in the day. That is that, you still have today fine art portraiture, but pre-photography, that was the only portraiture you had. And then photography came around and completely disrupted that art form. It's not like fine art went away, or fine art portraiture went away, it merged, right? It became different things. Photography itself developed into a profession. So he's, I think, trying to speak to a similar space. But it certainly does show, I guess the point is trying to say the creative potential and challenges of working with AI as an artist. That at the moment there's a real binary, like you're either still doing non-AI based stuff, or you're starting to do AI stuff and your work is suspect, or kind of, it's part of a threat. How do you feel? I know you do music. I do music.
But I'm just looking at the photograph here.
Can you tell?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we know though. I mean, it's all framed within this is an AI.
But even if it wasn't framed,
the hands look okay.
And the fact that the older lady's face is sort of like melting down into.
But that's why I assume he gave it this kind of retro 1920s veneer to it, to try and hide some of the tells for AI. But again, this probably occurred a little bit ago in terms of, I think people weren't quite as alert. It is becoming one of those new things. I've noticed a number of articles flagging how to tell if something's AI. There was one, I didn't read it, but I did see the headline, how to know if your porn is AI. The top 10 tell signs for knowing your porn is AI. Because there's quite a few people allegedly circulating AI porn, or not porn of AI. That would be weird. Like a kind of Futurama episode with Bender and... Hey, you're listening to Media Mothership. Quite good. Play me out.
No, I was just thinking about, because it's got this whole thing about fake photos and fooling judges. It just reminds me of the fake photo of, was it the Sun? That was...
Yeah, this was one by it backfired in terms of my view on it. It was a scientist who posted on Twitter, I think, an image of, latest space telescope captures never before seen image of sun going through some particular momentous occurrence. And then a few days later, he spoiled it by saying it's actually
salami.
A cross section of my salami, or his chorizo or something that he'd photographed. And again, he did this allegedly in his defense to get people to be more critical and aware of fake science. But people pointed out, but you're a scientist creating fake science to prove that point. Therefore, you are as corrupt as your... And this is always the problem when you're trying to do a gotcha point, or what's it called? A kind of a prank, where you're trying to demonstrate how bad racism is by performing racism. Yeah. Well, you've done it. And you've become that, right? And for some people, But you're right. Yeah, look, I think it does open up a whole set of questions around the type of future collaboration that might be there. I mean, we're collaborating with AI.
Yeah. It's going well.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the article, AI Isn't a Threat, on the fake photography point there. Hey, you're listening to Media Mothership on his radio. Now we're at the Making Media section, experiments with AI chatbots. And I thought what I'd like to start off this by doing is defining some key terms.
But you're not going to be defining the terms, are you?
I'm going to be in conversation. Live conversation with pre-prepared AI prompts that have asked this question. So the first piece I want to play, I should have included the prompt that I'd asked with it. But this one was, what's the macro term that's used to define chatbots, ChatGPT and so forth. So I plug that into, at the moment I'm experimenting with the Bing chat on Edge. The internet edge. And this was their definition.
The macro category that refers to ChatGPT and other chat software is natural language processing, NLP. NLP is a subfield of artificial intelligence that focuses on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. ChatGPT is a natural language processing tool driven by AI technology that allows you to have human-like conversations and much more with the chatbot. It uses generative pre-trained transformer, GPT, technology, which is a deep learning technology that uses artificial neural networks to write like a human to the power of 1.
Write like a human to the power of 1. What does that mean? I don't get it. It had me up until the end. 3 points to make from this definition. One is does anyone... I did a quick news search. I typed in NLP to see if NLP features in news articles. It does. So natural language processing.
But some of it would also be neuro-linguistic programming as well.
Oh, would it?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So yeah, I think we just threw that out. I'm not using NLP because it does sound like a political term as well, or something. The Nationalist Socialist League or something. But that's the broader term it gives this space, natural language processing, which enforces the idea that, of course, when you use ChatGPT, it always comes up with that warning that this is a conversation software. It's not a search software. Please don't use this to then go ahead and define your life by. It's just mimicking conversation. It's interesting to me also that this definition, just highlights the fact that it's all about AI trying to create human-like conversations as the goal. But I'm fascinated by the idea that it to the power of 1, as a deep learning uses artificial neural networks to write like a human.
Like a human to the power of 1 means exactly like a human.
To the power. Only an AI would say it that way. But I'm going to start using it in my conversations. Yeah. It's like, how could you use it when you're buying groceries, I wonder? I would like a tomato to the power of 1, just the 1 tomato. I'm going to have to look up that term to the power of 1. Anyway, so that didn't really satisfy me in terms of being useful to continuing with the discussion. So what I did then was to ask it how it defined itself, how this was using Bing Chat. So I said, okay, how's Bing Chat defined? And this is what it said.
Bing Chat is an AI chatbot experience from Microsoft based on the popular ChatGPT version 4 large language model, LLM, from OpenAI to offer similar responses to how humans will answer questions. It is integrated into the Bing search engine and is accessible through the Bing.com website or Bing mobile app. Bing Chat understands the context of your question and replies back with an answer in a human way. It uses ChatGPT to get relevant answers from the web superscript 1. Bing Chat is designed to be a simple, convenient, and secure way to communicate with friends, family, colleagues, and customers. Bing Chat is still a relatively new technology and has some limitations. It may not always provide accurate answers to complex questions. It may also have difficulty understanding certain accents or dialects. Additionally, it may not be able to provide answers to questions that require a lot of context or background information. However, Bing Chat is constantly being improved and updated with new features and capabilities. Some other limitations of Bing Chat include its inability to understand sarcasm or humor. It may also have difficulty understanding questions that are phrased in an unusual or unconventional way. Additionally, Bing Chat may not be able to provide answers to questions that require a lot of context or background information.
I feel like those are just disclaimers we have to play at the start of all our episodes now.
Yeah.
It's like, we might not be able to answer questions we're proposing in our shows. Did any of that speak to you? Like, they've got the large language model, LLM.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a data set, I suppose.
Yes. Sorry, just got a message saying I love the goofy drawing on the whiteboard. Looks like my sleep paralysis demon.
What? Oh, yeah.
It is a bit, yeah. Okay, so yeah, in the studio we're doing a video recording as well, and it does play out against the wonderful new artwork which is in the studio. So worth coming down if you want to do a bit of media tourism. We're here every selling tickets, I guess. So yeah, look, it is interesting. And look, the limitations certainly need to be highlighted. So I guess it was useful to do that. And yeah, the main thing I'm using this to set up is the idea of what the limitations and possibilities are for using ChatGPT to create stories. And I want to head into some of the experiments I guess I've been creating. Right? There's one more bit, the key debates which are centered around chatbots, which I might play.
If we're lucky.
Well, it's all about suspense. Right, yes. So, because I also wanted one more thing about this was trying to set up how we can use these chat pieces to create stories. So here's what it says about creating stories with AI, just as a setup to the Sherlock Holmes stuff we've been doing.
Chat AI is a technology that can generate fictional stories based on user input, such as keywords, prompts, or genres.
So we kind of did that with the Sherlock piece. We gave it about 12 Sherlock Holmes 1940s to 50s radio drama scripts.
Mm-hmm.
However, using Chat AI for this purpose also raises some ethical and creative issues.
Did we consider the ethics? We didn't.
I did.
Oh. I did as well, of course. It was there, top of my head. What were the ethics that you thought of? Well, I thought of public domain.
Public domain, of course, yeah.
Making sure that this material is out of copyright.
But even with my Harry Potter ones, of course, changing it enough so that it's gone through a robot and a person to make it enough different.
Yeah, because there is this category within, at least in the US, it operates the transformative works argument, that you've transformed the work so much that it's not simply selling the same one-to-one to the power of one.
Exactly.
Copy of Harry Potter. It's transformative work, and also you're not, I guess, seeking money for it. Let's see what the AI said with some of the ethics issues.
Here are some of the key debates around using Chat AI to create fictional stories.
All right, okay, we'll judge ourselves through this.
Originality.
I want to say, yeah, that
Past.
Transformative aspect.
Past.
Kind of, yep.
How original are the stories generated by Chat AI? Do they infringe on the intellectual property rights of other authors or sources?
It's a good point. Yeah, and again, using either work in the public domain, it's no longer in copyright, it completely removes that question from a problem, or very much being able to transform that piece.
Past.
How can Chat AI avoid plagiarism or duplication of existing stories? Quality. How good are the stories generated by Chat AI? Do they follow the rules of grammar, logic, and coherence?
So it doesn't. And this has been the fun bit about why we chose using the Google Colabs to create the content, because we knew it wasn't going to work as a piece.
How can Chat AI improve the quality of its stories and avoid errors or inconsistencies? Creativity. How creative are the stories generated by Chat AI? Do they reflect the user's preferences, personality, and style? How can Chat AI enhance the creativity of its stories and offer novel and diverse perspectives?
Yeah, I mean, I think that creativity aspect can occur once humans start getting involved in what's going on with this story and start teasing and pushing it out further. Because, yeah, there's some, like, I feel it just gets you beyond that blank page moment. It gives you some text to then work with, to iterate on, to create something novel and unusual through further juxtapositions.
Responsibility. How responsible are the users and developers of Chat AI for the stories they create? Do they respect the cultural, social, and moral values of their audiences and communities?
Yeah, and I don't think Chat AI does. I mean, Chat AI is in no way... And in fact, there was a piece that I created that I put on the Discord channel about creating a Media Mothership intro in the style of Monty Python, which delivered this really off-color joke.
Okay.
Did you read it on the
No, I
Discord
didn't.
channel? Yeah. There you go. Come to the Discord channel to read the most off-color joke I've read since being a teenager in high school. But maybe it was deliberately going for that kind of 1970s politically incorrect vibe as well.
I'm just having a look at it now.
Yeah. Yeah, but it really was kind of... It had... yeah, I won't even say it on air.
How can Chat AI ensure that its stories do not harm or offend anyone?
Yeah, and I think that involves still a human operator to intercede. And Biggie Cheesy has made another comment that he feels that drawing looks like a Kardashian without the mountain of makeup on it. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a chat bot. I doubt all humans now. All right, so again, this is getting us to this point where I'd decided to look at those 4 issues: originality, quality, creativity, responsibility, that are getting asked about Chat IA, to create a piece. So let's jump straight in, because what I wanted to do was to see what I could create from the Sherlock Holmes pieces that might be kind of unusual or interesting. So I'd asked it to create a Sherlock Holmes... Yeah, you're reading the joke? Do you reckon I could...
Why did you post that?
I was so flummoxed when it came up with that whole routine. I mean, do you reckon I could put that to air?
I suppose.
I'll send it to the boss. Okay. See what they think. There's a bit of a teaser for next week. Can we play an off-color joke like that? Anyway, so what I want to do now is play this experiment of seeing how we could take the concept of Sherlock Holmes and Watson to generate something unusual around a complacent space like living in the place you live in. Can it turn it into something interesting? So I'd asked it to create Sherlock in Taz. So this is its pitch to create a story about Sherlock Holmes and Watson coming to Tasmania.
Imagine the world's greatest detective arriving in Australia's island state, accompanied by his loyal friend and biographer Dr. Watson. They are hired by a mysterious client who claims to have uncovered a plot to sabotage the local government reform that would reduce the number of councils from 29 to 9.
Oh yeah, I should say I asked it to make reference to current news stories. But broadly, so there's no murder plot in this one.
The client suspects that someone is behind the deliberate ramming of the Clarence Plains police station, the confusion over the urgent care centres, and the disappearance of a rare variety of Tasmanian apple.
See, I couldn't find any evidence that a rare variety of Tasmanian apple has disappeared, but maybe I'm missing something. The other stories are real ones: the Clarence police station getting rammed and the council amalgam idea. I don't know about the rare Tasmanian apples.
Sherlock and Watson have to navigate the unfamiliar terrain and culture of Hobart while dealing with suspicious locals, hostile authorities, and a cunning adversary. Along the way, they encounter some of the city's landmarks, such as the Salamanca Market, the Mona Museum, and the Mount Wellington Summit.
It's such a Tourism Taz kind of shift. I can just imagine a Tourism Taz kind of like someone in Sherlock Holmes cosplay, and they got this whole big concept that, why are they there? I don't know, but we need the tourists.
They also learn about Tasmania's history, wildlife, and cuisine. Will Sherlock be able to crack the case before it's too late? Will Watson find love in the land down under? Will they ever get used to Vegemite? Find out in my imaginary story, Sherlock Holmes and the Hobart Conspiracy.
It's cute. It's kind of cute, right? I mean, I think I selected the funny answer for this as well. So, the Vegemite bit. I like Will Watson Find Love, because that is very much a kind of, one of those high-concept Hollywood movie pictures. But we could go to Screen Taz with that idea, get some funding from Tourism Taz. Would you be Watson or Holmes?
Me?
We'll have to think of how we can cast ourselves. Maybe we could both be Watson.
Holmes.
Okay, you take that. Great news from the chat. Biggie Cheesy has has said that he's not a bot, or they're not a bot.
Oh, brilliant.
But that would be cool if they were, they say.
Yeah. Might even be cooler.
And then, what is the emoji?
Some great noise from your microphone.
It is. I need my glasses. Anyway, so then I asked ChatGPT to create an entire radio script for a news story. And it created 3, as I mentioned. This is the one that I've decided to go with. It's titled as The Mystery of the Ramming Car. And... Mystery of the Ramming Car. That is such a dull, silly name. The Mystery of the Ramming Car. What did the car do? It rammed. Well, not a mystery then. Was the car autonomous? Was it like KIT or something? The Mystery of the Ramming Car. Oof. Not to a good start.
It's like the mystery of the pocket fluff. The mystery of the spare change.
It is like a learning to read book. Oh, gosh, from junior primary school. Okay, yeah, so will this be a learning to read book from junior primary school? So here it is, The Mystery of the Ramming Car. Now, what's interesting to me about this one as compared to the one that we created, so I guess I could quickly play that one again. So the one we created, which was really nonsensical, and this is one created through, a kind of chatbot-powered news system. So we'll play the original text first, which we chose because it doesn't make sense, and then I'll play The Mystery of the Ramming Car, just so we get a sense of what works and what doesn't.
I've searched and examined everywhere, but I still haven't found Santa Claus.
What about his hat, Watson?
No, I have not found his hat.
Come on, Watson, we need his hat. If you rub it 5 times, your foot turns to stone and he appears under the table.
You're a scoundrel, Holmes, and a rat. A silly boy and a bell-ringing slippery pencil manager.
Please sit, my dear goose.
What? On this canoe?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Rush. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Did you steal the diamond and ruby chicken?
Holmes, of course not. Do you want a biff on the nose?
No, I want to sing Good King Wenceslas.
You mean Good King Wenceslas of the octagonal square?
No, I mean Mrs. Crabapple of the Vinegar Police.
Holmes, do you have the Christmas measles by chance?
Of course. However did you know?
Well, you've soiled your father's hand, broken your wife, and have a French accent.
Well done, my dear sir.
Still gets me at the end, the great French accent voice. Yeah, so we've already judged what that is. So, yeah, it's an absurdist piece of nonsensical... Right. Okay, so here's the Sherlock in Taz, the Mystery of the Ramming Car.
Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the radio drama series that brings you the thrilling cases of the world's greatest detective and his loyal friend Dr. Watson. Today's story is called The Mystery of the Ramming Car, and it takes place in the beautiful city of Hobart, Tasmania, where Holmes and Watson have travelled to investigate a strange incident at a local police station. Let's join them now as they arrive at the scene of the crime.
Holmes, what are we doing here? I thought we came to Hobart to enjoy some fresh air and scenery, not to get involved in another mystery.
My dear Watson, you know me too well. I can never resist a challenge, especially when it involves such a peculiar case as this one.
What case? All I see is a police station with a smashed entrance and a car parked outside.
Precisely. That car, Watson, is the key to this mystery. According to the local newspaper, it was deliberately driven into the entrance of this police station yesterday morning, causing considerable damage and alarm. No one was injured, fortunately, but the driver fled the scene and has not been identified or apprehended.
How bizarre. But what does that have to do with us?
Everything, Watson. Everything. You see, I received a telegram from Inspector Lestrade this morning, asking me to come here and assist him with this case. He said he was at his wit's end and needed my help urgently.
Lestrade? Here? In Hobart?
Yes, Watson. It seems he was sent here by Scotland Yard to liaise with the Tasmanian police on a matter of national security. Apparently, there is a spy ring operating in Hobart, and Lestrade has been tracking them down for months.
Spy ring? In Hobart? What are they spying on?
That's what we're going to find out, Watson. Come on, let's go inside and meet Lestrade.
They enter the police station.
There you are, Mr. Holmes. And Dr. Watson. Thank goodness you're here.
Good morning, Lestrade. I'm glad you contacted me. This case sounds most intriguing.
It's more than intriguing, Mr. Holmes. It's baffling. I've never seen anything like it.
What exactly happened here, Lestrade?
Well, Dr. Watson, it was about 9 o'clock yesterday morning when a car came speeding down this street and crashed into the entrance of this station. It was a blue sedan with no plates or markings. The driver was wearing a mask and gloves and had a hood over his head. He got out of the car and ran away before anyone could stop him or see his face.
And you have no clue who he was or why he did it?
None whatsoever, Mr. Holmes. We've checked the CCTV footage from nearby shops and buildings, but it's all blurry and inconclusive. We've searched the car for fingerprints or DNA evidence, but it's all been wiped clean. We've interviewed witnesses and neighbors, but they all saw nothing or heard nothing.
A very clever and careful criminal indeed.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. But that's not all. There's something else that makes this case even more puzzling.
What is it?
Well, you see, the car, it wasn't stolen.
It wasn't stolen?
No, Mr. Holmes. It wasn't stolen. It was rented.
Rented?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Rented. From a local car hire company.
And did you trace the person who rented it?
Of course we did, Mr. Holmes. That's how we found out his name.
And what was his name?
His name was Sherlock Holmes.
I know, god damn, that took forever. Oh, putting that together, it felt like, this will have a great payoff. That is a slow story. That is a slow story. The delivery is so slow. Man. It was.
Yeah.
That took a whole afternoon to compile those voices together. Just for that, when I read it, I thought, yeah, that's cute ending. It was Sherlock Holmes' name on the rental car. Didn't see that coming. Because, of course, this is a current news article that a car did indeed ram into the Clarence police station. I don't know if they've found who's done it yet. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have Sherlock Holmes investigate this? No. It's slow and ponderous. I'm going to have that as a new chat prompt. Do not make the story slow and ponderous. Yeah. I think part of the issue is once you do it with AI voices as well, you can calibrate their emotional state. But it's so finicky. I'm going to get some of the interns to do it, I think. I cannot. I don't have the patience for it. Biggie Cheesy has made some comments about how Sherlock and Watson law right now is going crazy to school, allegedly. You know, teachers are, but teachers are not assigning this masterpiece. They're pointing out maybe this could be the new masterpiece they could assign.
Definitely.
God damn, that was just
Mystery of the Ramming Car.
Oh, maybe I sped it up twice. Yeah, I did that. Well, look, that's Media Mothership. I was really looking forward to playing that on air. You know, it's just not the art that I thought it was. You know how sometimes you make something and you're rushing it on and you're thinking, yes. And then you're playing it and you're thinking, this should have been half as long. Oh, man. All right. So next week, what I want to do is set up this idea of, because I think we were vindicated in terms of starting with bad processing, right? Really warts and all storytelling that is unintelligible and absurd, and then trying to unpack that in an interesting way. Because next week what I want to do is go into some of the other work I was doing, which was applying theories to that unintelligible, nonsensical text we created, asking for it, for instance, to reveal how this can make sense in terms of understanding the theory of ideology. And there were some stunning results. All this and more next week on Media Mothership, Edge Radio 99.3 FM with Dr. Taylor and Lord Craig. My mind can't do two things at once. All right. Well, any concluding remarks?
No. Okay. So sorry, I'll just make up a concluding remark then, so you can be doing whatever you're doing. Yeah, that's what ChatGPT is, and hopefully next week I'll be able to.
You have some confessions, right? You don't have any confessions.
No confessions, but it will be explored next week with me writing something that doesn't exist and trying to pass it off as something that does exist.
So you can listen to previous episodes on YouTube and Twitch and edgeradio.org.au. You can get in touch with us via Facebook and Discord. We've got Instagram and TikTok now. If you've enjoyed listening, there's other pop culture show on Edge Radio like Millennial Think, Dyson Cometh, and some other stuff. Coming up next, K-Pop Unlimited.
Yeah. Woo!
With us.
Again.
So thanks for listening this week to... this takes forever to get the computer back up. Okay. The Edge Radio 99.3 Media Mothership.